being here. My name's Kent Courier. I'm a business rep for the operating engineers. I'm also here representing the West Area Labor Council. Geographically, we make up nearly half the state. If you could draw a line from Iowa to Canada and on the western side of the state. Yet for years the population has been decreasing in that area. And I hear from a lot of people, a lot of kids I went to school with went on and educated themselves, have a lot of good talents that would be just what that area needs. They'd love to move back to that area. They'd love to raise their kids there. They just can't do it. The wages, the economy, it doesn't make it possible. We've heard a lot of questions about what would you do for the economy, so I want to be more specific. And I know you know a lot of trades. There are western or metro wages. I believe your area of the state, especially for the operating engineers, also carries that metro prevailing wage. But as you go west, that seriously drops off. At a time maybe when it was cheaper to live out there, and that was the idea. Mortgage out there is the same, gas costs the same. What would you specifically do for the western region?
You know, everything in this room comes from the ground. And I have lived in rural Minnesota all my life. And we can all talk about green energy. But to build a windmill turbine or to have cell phones and computers and a biomedical industry, electric battery operated cars takes copper and nickel and those types of metals. And so I'm not going to be afraid to support copper nickel mining in Minnesota because we need those materials. They should be done right here in Minnesota instead of rooting some environment in third world, in another third world country. But specifically, you know, the Big Stone project didn't get built. What we need to do is take a lesson from the co-ops. We should have, and I'm meeting with a gentleman next Monday from Spain, we should have small 25, 30 megawatt power plants like we have and convert it in Hibbing, Virginia, Minnesota to burn waste wood. We should burn your waste products out there. And that's one of the first things I would do. And we've got to have a good educational system that does research. That's why I funded endowments for research at the University of Minnesota. We wouldn't have an Iron Range if somebody at the U hadn't discovered the taconite process. We need to have the research that makes sure that your products replace fuels, plastics, whatever, that you grow up in western Minnesota so that your people can stay there, your kids can stay there. And the other thing, we should put some state jobs out there. We've got telecommunications now. A lot of state jobs could be moved to rural Minnesota.
Thank you.